You are about to witness the very exciting story of a city and its people.
Welcome to motherfucking Detroit.
What up, though? What up, though? This is Detroit Mail with another No Name podcast. The Honolulu Blue coming from me to you. If you have not done it, please go over to our YouTube page where you can scroll down, hit that like button, bing, hit that subscribe button, bang, and hit that notification button, bang, and you get everything that we upload. For instance, we go live every Monday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you like talking about sports, we do every single sport known to man, even underwater basket weaving. You can get in on that. You can also call in. You can also get into the chat with the rest of everybody, get into the conversation, rep your team. And speaking of repping your team, if you love repping your team, please join our Facebook group. Yeah, go over to Facebook and you can join in and you have a chance to rep your team. Look at the funny memes. Sometimes there's surveys, sometimes there's questions. And if you got something that you're promoting, because in the name it is network. We're here to network. You can promote your podcast. If you're selling something, you can promote that. You promote anything you want. That was there for. And also part of the network, we have our homeboy Lamar, who does the Chief page. Everything Chiefs. You can go over to a YouTube page and catch that. And last but not least, as you see him sitting on the right of me, maybe the left of you, depending on how you're looking at upside down. If you stand upside down, it is the big homie Nick Shine with his proud Jet fan. And today we are talking about the matchup between the Jets and the Lions. Thus, you see Nick over on the other side. He's going to represent the Jets fan and his Jets commentary. So without further ado, let's go into the matchup and the preview. What's going on, Nick?
How you doing, bud? For those that do watch our IOW show, know that me and you have a little fun banter where we play all the time like we don't like each other.
Right.
Today's legit. We do not like each other.
Not until Monday. Well, no, might check a week. Depends on who wins.
Yeah. We got our bet. The loser has 15 minutes once the game ends to call the winner and congratulate him.
Right. So, man, hey, I had this circle on my calendar one of the games. Not because you're a Jets fan, because I had one of those litmus tests for this team. You know.
Yeah.
It was the Buffalo game. It was this game, and I think it was the Minnesota game. You know, I wanted to see like where the second Minnesota game. The first game I wasn't too concerned about. I just want to see where they at that time, and then what they look like playing. You know, and I listened to Robert Saleh interview because he's a native here, and he was on one of the local stations, and he was kind of giving us
immense sauce.
Yeah, immense sauce, and he was kind of giving a assessment of his team. And he said that was interesting, and that was I kind of thought too. I think you have made mention to it how these teams are like mirror images of each other. You know, coaching style, where they came from, the fan base, and what we endured as fans and stuff like that. So, I think it's gonna be a great game. We talked about on the other show. I'm gonna let you go first. Give your preview, but that's kind of synopsis, an interview. I mean, an intro to what we're gonna talk about. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, at the time that we're taping this, within the last 45 minutes, breaking news has come out that Mike White did not get cleared because of his ribs, and that Zach Wilson will be starting this Sunday. A lot of Jets fans are saying, oh, they wanted Wilson back in. They did not want to put Wilson back in front of this home crowd. They did not want to put Zach out there. My opinion was they were going to let White go Sunday if he got cleared. Sunday versus you, Thursday against the Jags. And if there was going to be a move made, you have 10 days before the Seattle trip on the road, last week of the season on the road. You let Zach play the last 2 games away from MetLife and away from the fan base, which has lost its patience with Zach.
Right.
So you got to devise a game plan to get momentum. Scrap the defer. You win the coin toss, take the ball. Put Zach out there right away.
Okay.
Don't be down 7-0, go down 3 and out. The fan base will go ballistic.
Right.
I'm out under center the first play. Everyone's going to think it's a handoff to Bam Knight. No one thinks that Zach is going to throw on the first play back in, right?
Right.
Give me a play action, send Moore and Wilson deep, and just air one out, man. Just put it out there. If he hits it, the place is going to erupt. All's forgiven. And I've tweeted and I've said this in the Jets groups already. There is no place on earth that loves a comeback story more than New York. You come out after everything that you've done and how poorly you looked in New England and your stupid comments in the postgame, and you fake that play action, you hit Moore or Wilson, and it goes 75 yards for a touchdown on the first play of the game, people will be throwing beers and peanuts and up in the air. It will look like New Year's out there.
Right.
We just want a quarterback to help us. We have a very good roster.
Yeah.
Our biggest question mark is quarterback play. So it's concerning that Mike White got cleared Sunday to return to the field, but 5 days later can't get cleared to play on Sunday. So I think somebody's job or head might roll for that. Quinnen Williams has a calf injury. He's listed as doubtful. I say you don't play Quinnen Williams, which could be a blessing to you guys because he's been dominant. But we play again Thursday against Jacksonville. I would rest Quinnen against Detroit, non-conference game. Give him 4 extra days. Jaguars are on a roll. They're looking good. They could be a playoff contender. Get Quinnen healthy. Give him 4 extra days to heal. No setbacks on Sunday. Let him play Jacksonville. And then again, let him get the 10 days off to prepare for Seattle and then Miami. I would be shocked if Quinnen Williams plays on Sunday. So that could help you guys because he has been a game wrecker. I know you have a good offensive line. I know your tackles are elite. They're probably the best tackle tandem in the league. I just I know that presence of Quinnen going against the guard or the center could change the aspect of a game, the way he can collapse a pocket.
Right.
But I can't see a scenario where they put him out there. I can't see a scenario where he's 100%. You don't want to have the setback and you miss in the last 3 games. The worst thing to be for the Jets would win this game. Quinnen plays,
get hurt.
It's a setback third quarter, and now we don't have him for the home stretch.
Right.
So,
because I mean, what y'all 7-6, 7-4? I forgot the record. Yeah. So you look at 7. Losing 1 game here and winning the rest, you still probably can make the playoffs. So I think Miami, like, they on a downward turn. So if you're making a playoff push, you want your best players at the time of playoffs. So I kind of agree with your statement. I'll say this too about
you don't want to see Quinnen. Little best, man.
I mean, y'all could be hurt products, sir.
The Sean's masseuses in there, work that calf all day, whatever it takes. Let that boy lay down on his tum-tum.
But yeah, I think when I saw the thing about Zach Wilson playing, I was like, well, which Zach Wilson you gonna get? Because it's not like the whole season he was garbage. If he had some games where he looked like, okay, he gonna be the franchise quarterback, and then he had some games like, okay, what we got here. So I think that's one of the things I'm looking at when I saw. I said, well, which one we gonna get? And you never know, because that time sitting down could have humbled him enough to come out and say, okay, I'm gonna go here and play. And I think that now when we look at what else calling me, when you look at the matchup, because one thing I think I said on the other show was I was concerned about the Jets defense. And is on the road with Jared Goff on the road. He doesn't play well on the road. He's been playing well the last couple of games, but most of them been at home. So now you're going up to a hostile environment, gonna have to use a lot of silent snaps. How is he gonna react with that? I like our offense, but like I said, I think for us, offensive wise, how Jared Goff is going to respond to that. He's gonna have to get the ball out quick. And I think not throwing to Sauce Gardner will be a mistake. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I think you have to throw on his side, maybe some go routes just to keep him honest. Because then all you have to do is just put everybody on one side and let him be on the island by himself. Because you're not throwing on the side, and then that takes away what you can do for different plays and stuff like that. So I think you still have to throw over there and keep him honest. You just got to make sure you throw an accurate pass or a pass only your receiver can get. And that's the only thing I'm worried about with Jared Goff. Is he's that accurate to do that under pressure, under duress.
Yeah.
I think he can. I think flat-footed.
That's the thing. We get there with 4. We're not sending extra guys.
Right.
The keys to beating if we're in zone,
Mhm.
are those 12 to 17 yard sideline routes where it's
Right.
after the corner before the
Mhm.
safety.
Right.
If you bring a running back out of the backfield and Sauce or Reed have to step up, and now you got a bigger window to hit that on the sideline.
Right.
That's where we're susceptible. We're susceptible to running backs out of the backfield. CJ Mosley has been very good, but CJ Mosley can be had in open space. And a lot of his tackles are chasing a guy 8 to 10 yards downfield to make the tackle instead of making it at the point of the catch for
Right.
-2 or only +2.
Right.
So we can be had.
Right. I mean, every team has a weakness. But I guess my biggest concern is, can Goff, put the pass where it needs to be. I mean, under duress. That's the only thing. Like, I think if he has a clean pocket, he's good. And a lot of times when I see him throw a lot of picks, it's when he's under duress. Just getting the ball, not putting it where it needs to be. And that's one of my main concerns. My other concern is, Garrett Wilson, Moore, can our corners and safeties contain them? Kula's been good, but the rest of them been kind of hit or miss. Kirby Joseph been upcoming, but he been hit or miss. So my thing is, like, can they contain them? I'm not looking on stop them. Just contain them enough, make a play here. All it takes is 1 or 2 plays here, and that can cost you the game on either way. So I'm just looking out to make 1 or 2 plays here. Then our defensive front be able to get pressure on Zach Wilson and force him to get rid of the ball, make a bad mistake. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. The thing with Zach that White doesn't have is mobility.
Yes.
He can get out. Now, the first game against the Patriots, he got out of the pocket. He was Houdini with the pass rush.
Right.
And he made some bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
The second game against the Patriots, where we only scored 3 points, he did the same thing, but he got rid of the ball. And we weren't trying to make the big play. He was doing what everyone wanted.
Right.
To play another play, but he missed a lot of passes that game.
Right.
If his footwork is correct, his arm mechanics are better, we have the talent and the skill guys that can really make your day hell.
Right.
It's just a matter of, can Zach facilitate that and get that going and get the guys the ball and get it in rhythm and in timing where they can catch and run.
Right. So, I'm gonna ask you this question. I want you to answer it from 2 different perspectives.
Okay.
All right. You as just a avid person watching football, what's your prediction of the game?
It's going to be a very tight game. Can go either way.
Okay.
Everything that you've said and I've said about us being very, very similar teams, competitive teams, fight down to the last play. I wouldn't be surprised if this is somebody lining up for a field goal with 4 seconds left to decide the game. That's just how I look at these 2 teams. I don't think there's much separation. Things that you do well are some of our concerns. Things that we do well are some of your concerns.
Right.
So it's going to be a matter of whose strength can dominate. Can you block our pass rush, get the ball out, and let St. Brown and other guys feast all day?
Right.
Can our defense beat your offensive line and make Goff uncomfortable all day and force interceptions and we're jumping routes because we know we're getting home? It's gonna be a chess match. I'm very curious to see how this game plays out, because I think that we are on parallels. with multiple number one draft picks, couple years in a row. We have the ability to get some talent into our rosters that has been defunct for a while. We have general managers who are finally bringing in the pieces and hitting on draft picks, which is something new to us.
Yeah, got a whole list of players.
Yeah. So
now let me ask you this: as a Jets fan, how do you see it?
I take the Jet hat off. That's my first answer is my Jet answer too.
Okay.
I'm not pumping my chest out. I'm not saying we're better than this team. I'm not saying we're going to beat this team. There's a lot of question marks with Zach. There's a lot of question marks with the offensive line last 2 weeks. I'm excited. Excuse me, hiccup. I'm very excited for this game. I think it's winnable. I don't think either team wins a blowout.
Right. I'd be surprised on either side.
It's going to come down to one or two plays at the side, and who makes those plays is going to be the big difference in the game.
All right. Now,
we stop your run game. Your run game is very good. You guys lead the league with an average of your running back 2 yards downfield before being touched, which is number one in the NFL.
Right.
Our missing Quinnen Williams could hurt in the run game as well because he beats offensive linemen at will. Right. So who steps up? We have Sheldon Rankins has played nice as a pass rusher, but he might have to step up in some run on rundowns. Nathan Shepard is our best run stuffer. He's going to have a nice game on the inside too.
So if I answer that from my perspective, I guess from just outside looking in, I'm kind of like you. I try not to wear the Detroit hat either, but just as an analyst looking at it, pretty much what I said too. I think that it's gonna come down to the last minute. I'll be shocked on either side. Either side blows either team out. If the Jets blow the Lions out, the Lions blow the Jets, I'll be shocked. My concern is always, well, let me go back to like I was saying as a commentator. I think the biggest concern for the Lions is whether or not they can stop the pass rush if Quinnen Williams play. But I think even if he doesn't play, I think the front four y'all have still a good front four, and then your corners are lethal. Reed, Sauce Gardner, they ain't no joke. If I'm looking at the weapons that the Lions have, I think they have some decent enough weapons. I like St. Brown. There's still a question about on Jameson Williams because he only played 2 games, and he only got one pass. One more reception and I think 2 thrown to him. So that's still a question mark. I can't really count him yet. Cephas, because Cephas ain't playing. Cleve Raymond, he's a speedster, but he has tendency to drop the ball every now and then. DJ Chark is coming on. So if I'm looking at this game, my biggest concern is what is Jared Goff gonna look like under duress? I think that's the question mark for the offense. And can that offensive line make holes for Swift and Jamal? If I was looking at it from a fan perspective, I still say the same thing, but only caveat I would say is that as a Lions fan, you had your hopes up so much that you can see a blowout coming because that's what the Lions they don't let you down. Only thing I'll say, and I've been saying this all year, is that this regime seems different. It seems like they're a different regime than any regime that came through here. And that's the only thing that kind of gives me a little hope.
Agreed. Because, and I'm not being a dick here. Yeah. How many times have you seen the Lions start 1-6 and it ends up 2-14 because they don't ever fix it? They don't ever right the ship. They don't ever get the winning streak.
You're right.
The fact that you guys took that punch to the stomach for a month and a half, stuck together, fixed some things, started getting some guys back healthy who were out early. Your record since trading Hawkinson is insane. Right.
It looks like a good move where everybody's kind of talking about. Everybody's talking about why wouldn't they trade Hawkinson?
Yeah,
that's like a good move.
Yeah, it's mind blowing that they got better after trading one of their most consistent and best.
But you know what, Nick? What I said about that trade too is that if you look at how they run this offense, is they don't really use the tight end that much. So any tight end kind of plug and play in there because the way Jared Goff distributes the ball, the way Ben Johnson calls plays, you just need a halfway decent tight end. So I knew it's going to be a loss, but then TJ Hawks is not as good a blocker as some of the other tight ends they have too. They do rely a lot on the running game. So
yeah,
I still was kind of shocked, but I looked at it from that perspective. But before we close, I'm trying to go over 20 minutes. Where do you see your Jets finishing, this year?
Oh Jesus! But I don't even know with the QB situation. Zach back. Like the main thing I said the other day on my buddy Jeremy's show Wednesday night, I was like, you got to go 2-0 in 4 days if you want to talk playoffs at all. Because going to Seattle's not easy, and then you go down to Miami. So division games are never easy.
Right.
You got to go 2-0 with Lions Sunday, Jags, both at home, no travel. You got to go 2-0 here. I said before the season, I thought 7 was our floor and 9 was our ceiling for wins. Anything more than that, considering that we've lost Hall, considering we've had the quarterback, we've started 3 quarterbacks this year, considering Vera Tucker went out.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
In the same game, like 5 plays apart. Brees Hall and Vera Tucker, our best playmaker, guy was going to run away with Rookie of the Year. Like it wouldn't have been close. He was becoming a monster. Had 4 straight games with a touchdown. Was rushing for like 100 yards a game, like 3-4 games in a row, either right above or right at it. Had 4 carries for 78 yards against Denver, and then he's out. And Vera Tucker, who would have been an all-pro offensive lineman because he started at 3 different positions in the first 6 weeks.
Right.
So losing those 2 guys hurt us, and we lost them so early that I've been saying we haven't had our identity. We tried running it. We tried now with White, the spread, the 5 wide shotgun. We don't have that identity, which could be a blessing if it's coached and executed the right way, where now you don't know what we are. We're not giving it the whole 22 times a game. Like you don't know. And now Zach coming back in after missing being benched for 3 games.
Right.
Like it's a toss-up. Like, I don't know what to expect from this team hour to hour, minute to minute, tweet to tweet to look 4 weeks ahead and say this is what we're going to be, because I don't know who we are week to week.
Well, let me go ahead. You want to say something else?
No, I just
my follow-up question to that too, before we close out, is have they met, exceeded, or disappointed you when it comes to expectations of what they've done so far?
They've exceeded, especially losing Hall and Vera Tucker to still have a winning record. In the beginning of the year, it was play a competitive game or 2 after Thanksgiving. That was the goal.
Right.
Like I always joke, my birthday's October 18th. There's been many Jets seasons that I'm doing draft coverage and I'm looking at mock drafts and studying players before my birthday because we're 1-5 and the season's over.
Right.
Much like the Lions, like I said earlier, we've had many of those seasons where we don't turn it around and we end up 4-12. 4-13 like last year. Right. By the end of October, we had already hit the over for Vegas at the wins projected for us in the season, and we had we had the same amount of wins we had the last 2 seasons combined. So it's a good starting season for us as well as you to kind of say like, hey, we're up and coming, and next year you're going to see some people picking maybe both of us to win divisions.
Right. You know what scares me though, Nick? Oh, go ahead. I mean, cut you off. But
no, it's okay. It's fun. It's fun to have your team playing meaningful football for almost the entire season.
Right.
And then have playoff hopes the week of Christmas.
Right. What scares me the most is that I turn on, well, I don't really watch regular. I watch mostly on YouTube. When I go on YouTube, I'm seeing all this Lions coverage. I'm like, oh, man. It's funny because it's all like being an abusive relationship, when you're a Lions fan. You know what I'm saying? It's
almost like that Jim Carrey movie where he's like punching himself in the face.
Right. It's like you cry about they'll never give us coverage, they'll never respect us, they'll never talk about us, and then now they talking about you, kind of like, damn, I wish they not talk about us, because I'm kind of scared that they might give us a bad omen or something,
100%. We lost to the Bills last Sunday, and when they went back to the CBS studio, Cower, Nate Burleson, Boomer were all like, I guarantee you there are many teams in the AFC that do not want to see this Jets defense get into the playoffs.
Right.
And I'm like, man, if we get in at 7, we got Patrick Mahomes at the 2 seed in the first game.
Yeah.
If we could run the ball, we could shock
Good
the
test,
world
though.
with this
It's a
defense.
good test.
Yeah. Hey,
that's how I look at it now, man.
How many times have we seen a team barely get into the playoffs, but they played some meaningful football the last couple weeks? Giants went on a Super Bowl run. Pittsburgh went on a Super Bowl run as the 6th seed. You get these teams that just the playoffs start at Thanksgiving for some of them, and they got to win out. So we'll see, man. It's
exciting,
fun.
man.
It's nerve-wracking, but also exciting to have your team be competitive. Like I forgot what it felt like to like have meaningful games past opening day.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. You know, it's always fun to talk to you about Jets because you know you're a Jets expert. Yeah, you know, I say a lot of crazy stuff to you, but you know, I appreciate you, man. And it's been fun. It's been fun.
Same for you.
You know,
I noticed we get along really well when Lamar ain't around. Have you picked up on that?
Yeah, the black guy always messing stuff up. But anyway, if y'all haven't done it, please like and subscribe. You know, check out Nick's Proud Jets podcast. It's pretty good. You know, if you like,
I'm laughing harder at that comment than I probably should be.
Ignore his laughter. It's not a racist laugh. He hung up his hood a long time ago. Well, it's still in the cleaners.
I'm afraid to wear a hoodie. Some of those hoodies have a peak in it, and I'm like, oh, can't be rocking that.
It's like, can I get a extra starch on my hood, please? But if you haven't done it, please go down.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
Good luck to you
Appreciate
guys.
you. Yeah, and, man.
I hope to God that
hopefully you be the one calling me.
Yeah, I hope you got to call me. I hope you got to call me, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.
Monday should be a fun show either way.
Right.
Later.
All right.